Good day, Bermuda. Thank you for joining us today as we provide an important update regarding education reform. The government remains steadfast in its commitment to reforming public education in Bermuda. This includes the restructuring of the Bermuda public school system by phasing out middle schools, introducing signature schools at the senior level, and creating parish primary schools, with one primary school per parish, except two in Pembroke, and as a result of the rescoring, two in the parish of St. George's. After the May announcement of the rescoring process, I wish to announce today that Gilbert Institute and Prospect Primary will close at the end of June 2025. The decision to close these two schools at the end of June 2025 was based on several factors. One, the rescoring process did not alter any of the previous decisions for the central school zones. As such, the timelines of closures for these two schools were shared with the school and the broader community that were shared with the school and the broader community in April 2023 will remain. Two, the capacity to accommodate the students from Gilbert and Prospect in other central zone schools. And three, for Prospect Primary School building, addressing the infrastructure issues to redevelop the site into a signature school for exceptionalities is more practical, with the school being empty. Principals for both schools have been notified and will meet with staff and parents tomorrow. More detailed information about staffing decisions, school transfers, assistance with parents, and other logistics will be discussed during these meetings. The Department of Education will be working to ensure the transition is as seamless as possible. The Commissioner of Education will facilitate an implementation plan that will focus on individual and group counseling support for students, parents, and staff, including wellness and HR support, guidance on student transitions, integration, and special programs with information sessions for parents, transfer of academic records and logistic details like uniforms, transportation, and site visits, activities and events to help students and staff manage the school closing process, and staff career support, participation in the school transition teams, and end-of-year closing event involvement. We know that this transition will have an impact on our BPSS and broader community. Losing a significant fixture in our community is hard. Through our History and Legacy Committee, we will ensure that the memory of both schools is cherished and their histories and legacies are recognized and honored. The committee will oversee the critical process to invite, approve, and oversee projects to meet the outcomes of documenting, preserving, honoring, and commemorating the history and legacy of education in Bermuda, including Gilbert Institute and Prospect Primary. At this stage, we can confirm that the remainder of the revised plan to transition from 3-tier to 2-tier will continue to be developed over the summer and be ready to announce to all stakeholders in Term 1 of the 2024-25 school year. As you can appreciate, this is a labor-intensive process, factoring in student movement with the least possible disruption for children, the location of preschools in each parish primary site, the placement of our special programs, functional skills, autism spectrum disorder, and Success Academy, staff movement, learning environments and construction timelines and capacity, the capability to deliver expanding school transformation team processes, and advanced notice of school closures. We understand that a full school transformation like ours can be lengthy and sometimes disruptive. However, through the Ministry of Education, the government of Bermuda is dedicated to improving public education for every learner. We note that as we work through reforming our education system, we must support our students, staff, and families throughout this process. The Ministry of Education will continue providing regular updates to our BPSS staff, parents, community, partners, unions, PTSAs, and the general public through various communication channels and engagement events. Change, while challenging, is essential for progress. We are committed to providing our children with the best educational environments possible. Thank you for your continued support and engagement, and we look forward to a brighter future for education in Bermuda. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We'll now take questions. Anyone? Sarah? Or Elisa? Okay.
Okay, thanks for the announcement. Do we have any idea where these students from these schools are going to be going on to, and that there's capacity for them?
There is capacity with, as I stated in the statement, there is capacity for them within the schools that currently are within the central zone. But the logistics of that is something that will be discussed with the parents tomorrow and ongoing. And so it's premature for me to state where exactly all of those students will go until those particular processes take place.
Can you say how many students are in those schools?
In Prospect and Gilbert, I want to say it's about it's just under 70 students. I believe it's about around 70 students in each school.
In each school?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can get you the exact numbers.
And there's no other, you can't give any idea, indication, sorry, on the next schools that are going to be closing or slated for closure, or they've been chosen yet?
Those will be indicated when we release the full 3-tier to 2-tier plan.
What's the timeline for the full rollout?
As I said, within the first term of the next school year.
And is there any update you can give on the History and Legacy report?
The History and Legacy Committee, or the History and Legacy report, because there is no History and Legacy report due yet.
When will it be released to the public?
There is no History and Legacy report.
Okay, well, the work is going to be made public of the History and Legacy Committee on how you went about rescoring.
Are you referring to the rescoring?
Yes.
The rescoring report?
Yes.
Okay, that's
slightly off topic.
Something completely different. The History and Legacy report will be public by next week, Friday, July 5th.
Okay, and you'll be going through the whole scoring criteria, and it'll be quite
We will post the
transparent.
report on the website.
Will you be hosting any press conference or issuing any statements on that?
I'm sure we will issue a statement to say it's been posted.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Minister, for the announcement. Just a few quick questions. Firstly, has the government or your ministry given any thought into how Gilbert and Prospect, how those sites will be repurposed?
As announced, Prospect primary site will be the new school for the signature school for exceptionalities. And so, as we said, it's easier for us to start working on what needs to be done with the school empty. The Gilbert school, there's still things that could be brought up about that. We've talked about it being potentially moving some of our staff from rented accommodations into that school. There's discussions of perhaps it could become an arm of the Bermuda College. There's also talks about maybe the ERU could move there, and we also have talked about Success Academy possibly moving there. But those are just some of the things that are on the table. There could be more by the time we get through this process over the next year.
Thank you. And you noted that the report from the rescoring exercise will be published shortly. And since then, you've had a lot of pushback from PTAs in both ends of the island. Do you have any response to those who may be frustrated by the process?
As I stated, what we're doing in this process can be frustrating and disruptive for some, but at the end of the day, we're doing what is best for our children, and we understand that some of the decisions we make are just not going to be decisions that some people readily accept, and we do appreciate that, but we will continue to work and meet with them to discuss and, continue to show the vision as moving forward. And what we've seen is people who were resistant start to come on board.
Okay, and lastly, you have had a turnaround of decisions in the past. Are you confident that, as everything stands today, that this is the final path?
We are, and this is why we're making this announcement today. The decision for the rescoring is final. We made that known when I did meet with the Somerset PTA executive on June 5th. That was something that we started the conversation with, and then we moved on from there. And so it is a decision that is final. The rescoring decision is final, and that is the basis of the redoing of the 3-tier to 2-tier plan. And once that is completed, we will publish that to the public, and we will continue to move forward.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, with that, thank you, Bermuda Broadcasting News, thank you, Royal Gazette, and that concludes our press conference.